The story opens with a young couple, Liv and Tim. Something was silently corroding their relationship. Neither of them was content. One day, Liv decided she couldn't take it anymore. She said, "I'm moving to France for a new beginning. If you don't want to come, I'll go alone." But as she attempted to open the door, she noticed something strange. A thick, dark wall had completely sealed the exit. It looked unnatural and ominous. Tim checked the doorbell camera, but the screen had gone completely black. When they peered out of the windows, the same dark wall was visible outside too. Liv tried to call Friedman, but her phone showed zero signal, and even the Wi-Fi was dead. Tim started shouting for help and even banged against the wall in frustration, but nothing made a difference. Then they noticed something odd. Tim's phone began to glitch oddly near the wall. When he brought it closer, the screen flickered as though something was interfering. They tried drilling into the wall, but the drill couldn't penetrate it at all. They tested it on the regular wall and realized those too were now coated in this dark, impenetrable material. Suddenly, they heard noises from the neighboring apartment, one that shared a wall with their bedroom. They drilled a small hole and saw another couple, Marvin and Anna. They were also trapped, their apartment surrounded by the same dark barriers. Their phones weren't working either, and no one could understand what was happening. Anna, terrified, began to cry, convinced they were going to die. Tim checked their kitchen and discovered that even their water supply had been cut off. Seeing Liv panicking, Tim tried to assure her there must be some way out, like in a video game. But Liv interrupted angrily. "This isn't a game, I told you we should have left earlier." Liv had suffered a miscarriage not long ago. It had left a deep emotional wound on both of them. That's why Liv wanted to leave and start fresh somewhere else. But for Tim, quitting everything suddenly wasn't easy. In anger, Tim threw his phone at the black wall and saw that a part of the phone stuck to it like a magnet. Even when he pulled it off, it would reattach again. Liv came over with a cup of coffee to apologize. Together, they began throwing metallic objects at the wall and soon discovered it was magnetic. Liv then covered the wall with iron objects. Suddenly, the wall began to vibrate and all the objects flew back like bullets. Tim shielded Liv with his body, getting injured in the process. Liv carefully removed the metal pieces lodged in him, and the two sat down, overwhelmed. Suddenly, Anna screamed. They peered into her apartment and saw chaos, furniture overturned, items scattered as if a fight had broken out. Then everything went silent. Liv and Tim drilled a hole into their wall and entered Anna's apartment. Tim, holding a baseball bat, searched the room and found blood on the carpet. They discovered Anna unconscious. As Liv helped her to the bedroom, Marvin attacked Tim, trying to strangle him with a stick. Liv rushed in and sprayed Marvin with pepper spray, and Tim landed a couple of punches. Anna intervened, explaining Marvin hadn't meant to hurt her. He was just trying to break the wall. Still, Liv and Tim tied his hands, unsure whether to trust him. Later, Tim found a door marked "No Entry." Forcing it open, he saw flashing lights and some suspicious movement behind the wall. Liv joined him and noticed surveillance cameras and an axe inside. Tim tried breaking the wall with the axe, but again, it didn't work. Marvin eventually regained consciousness and apologized, explaining he had overdosed on his medication out of panic. That was why he acted violently. Liv had an idea. She sketched a diagram of the building and said, "This place is centuries old. There might be a war shelter in the basement that connects to the outside." Motivated, Tim began breaking the floor. To their relief, there was no black wall below. They dug deep and finally made a hole large enough to descend. Tim climbed down first, but was confronted by Mr. Oswald, who pointed a gun at him. Tim explained the situation, and Oswald's granddaughter convinced him to let them stay. The rest of the group followed. Marvin got straight to digging, and Leah shared that she first saw the black wall at 4 a.m. in the bathroom. Meanwhile, Tim found a hidden camera inside a smoke detector. Oswald admitted it had been installed by Friedman, the building's owner, under the pretense of renovations. Liv, Leah, and Tim broke into Friedman's flat, which shared a wall with theirs. Inside, they discovered expensive artifacts, and Friedman's corpse, lying on the ground with both hands missing. Liv freaked out and ran. Tim checked Friedman's phone and found a picture of the same black wall. They continued digging, moving floor to floor. Liv noticed a newspaper article about a fire at the harbor. She wondered if this was all connected. Just then, the floor collapsed under Tim, Marvin, and Anna. Liv brought a ladder and helped them. Oswald was too frightened to go down, but Leah convinced him, and the group helped him and his oxygen tank descend. In another flat, they met Yuri, a friend of Anton, the owner who had died of a heart attack. Yuri suggested the stress from these walls caused Anton's death. Leah found strange papers in Anton's room and grew suspicious. Yuri said maybe the government had put up the walls for their protection, but no one believed him. Eventually, they made it to the basement where they found a sealed door. Liv broke it open, but behind it was the same black wall. Marvin lost control and started punching it. Oswald threatened him with a gun, but Marvin seized it and fired. The bullets stopped midair and then flew back, one of them killing Oswald. Back upstairs, Anna said, "I think we're here for a reason." She had once died for 2 minutes in a bike accident. Others shared their traumas. Tim didn't speak about their baby, but Liv told the group about the miscarriage. Tim stormed off, and they argued in private. Later, they searched Friedman's flat for more answers. Leah went through Anton's burned notes. One paper showed a pattern, possibly a code. Liv found a card with a harbor address. They realized the wall might be made of nanobots, and Anton had worked for a nano defense company. Yuri downplayed it again, but when Liv and Leah found a smashed phone and a business card, they knew Anton was onto something. Tim found a hollow wall in Friedman's room, and Marvin discovered a remote, but it needed a password. Tim cleverly identified the used buttons and cracked the password. Inside was a surveillance control room. Footage showed black clouds forming into a wall. They also saw Anton's body, not where Yuri had claimed. He had lied. Yuri vanished. Marvin found him burning documents. Leah's body was nearby. Yuri attacked Marvin, but Tim arrived with a gun. A fight broke out, and Marvin hit Yuri unconscious. Liv found that the wall's bricks had unique patterns, possibly a code. They realized Anton had used an app to scan them. Liv brought the broken phone, and Tim recreated the app on a new device. Using the app, Tim pressed the highlighted points. The wall turned liquid-like. Anna touched it but got stuck. They tried pulling her out, but the wall turned solid again. Tragically, they lost her, half her body gone. Realizing this was how Friedman had died, Marvin shot Yuri and later took his own life. Tim apologized to Liv. "Something broke inside me the day we lost the baby. I don't know how to fix it," he said. They hugged and made peace. Later, Tim tried the sequence again. Liv noticed each button blinked a different number of times. That could be the order. Reviewing Anton's footage, they figured it out. Suddenly, Yuri attacked again. Liv fell through the floor hole, followed by Tim. They ran through a tunnel and found a door. Liv scanned it using the app. Yuri burst in and attacked Tim. As he tried to strangle him, the app activated and the wall began to dissolve. Tim told Liv to escape, but she refused to leave him. As Yuri attacked with a knife, Liv struck him, and she and Tim escaped through the final door. Outside, they saw the entire city covered in these black walls. They jumped into a van and drove off, hoping to find a place untouched by the dark blockade. If you enjoyed this video, please like, quick recap, and subscribe for more.